Welcome, everybody, to the N Word for Nerd podcast. I'm your host here, Jason, and I'm here with my nearest and dearest, the Duke of all nerds. Jason, what's going on, my man?
The other Jason. I'm here in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida.
Remember to share, like, and follow us here at Headcanon Circus on YouTube, Facebook. Also, we are on all listening podcast places: Spotify, Anchor FM, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Remember to hit the bell notification on YouTube so you'll be notified when we post again. And let's jump right into the fun part of the show. Well, the
Ring the
fun part of
bell,
the show for
guys.
Jason is drinking, but fun part of this show for me is going to be talking about this next subject. Let's jump into our last review today. We got The Witcher season 2. So for those who don't know about The Witcher, it is uh this takes place after season 1, and after season 1, spoilers, because I mean, if you're listening to the season 2 review, hopefully you watch season 1. Um Yennefer helps stop the siege. Gilroy finds the girl's assessor, Ciri. I can't think of her name
Ciri.
now. Yeah, he
She's
finds her.
she's Apple plot, the Apple plot thing, Siri.
Yeah. So he finds her, which is supposed to be his destiny, and they move on. And so that pretty much picks up right after Witcher 1,
Like
pretty much
literally.
immediately after
Yeah.
Witcher 1. So I thought it was pretty good. But Jason, what are your thoughts on The Witcher season 2?
I enjoy the show. Henry Cavill is my nerd crush. That dude can do no wrong, even as Superman. As a he can do no wrong because he paints Warhammer figures in his spare time, and he's also like the Witcher, rules nerd on the show as well. He'll correct the directors like, "Oh no, this is not book accurate, sir." Yeah, this this season is a little bit more straightforward than the first season. There's no time
Mhm.
jumps or anything like that. No flashbacks. It's basically just you know, uh, Geralt of Riviera and Ciri hanging out for 6 or 8 episodes, however long they're doing it for, and it's fun, and they have a good relationship together. It's usually when you bring like a annoying little sister type character or they can be annoying, but Ciri never gets to that point where she's like absolutely obtuse or like completely stupid. She actually is like a pretty good character who's trying to train hard, who has a goal, and even though her goal is to murder the man who traumatized her, like her relationship with Gerald is pretty awesome. Um, Yennefer does some shitty things in this, and whether you like the character or not, I still like kind of like her relationship with Joe because it's always like they want to be together, but they know like they're just like two different sort of paths of being driven to be together. So, but they still have like this sort of like connection that they can't get rid of, and I kind of like that, and it's pretty good. I also like the fact that you get to see other Witchers, a Black Witcher, an Asian Witcher, a more white Witchers. And they're all pretty great, and actually seeing them like be witchers and do the things that like Joel is maybe the best, but there are other witches out there, and they're all pretty good, and that's pretty cool to see. And they will fuck some monsters up, and they will also get fucked up as well. So yeah, this is more like a streamlined story than the first season, so it's a lot more entertaining in my opinion than the first season was because it's just so straightforward. And some of the minor characters in the last season got, brought up to a little bit more major, uh, more prominent roles in this season, um, which was a cool thing to see. And the poor elves, man, those elves, they're they're the black people of this world. They don't get no breaks, and they can't even have no babies, and they still don't get no breaks. Like they everybody trying to fuck them over. So it's good. It's good. Good little watch if you like fantasy based stuff.
So I love season 2. I think I like it way more than season 1 because of that. It
I
is
think so too.
streamlined, a lot easier to follow. So when you do the time jumps, it works when you have a certain kind of hand for storytelling. The problem is when you don't have that hand for storytelling, you have to rely on people just liking the characters to be able to accomplish it. That's the Witcher season 1. You like the characters, so you're willing to buy in and keep
Yeah.
following as it jumps. Witcher 2 is like, all right, we know you like the characters, so let's give them mythos and ethos and let them expand themselves in the mythology of this world. Yes, yeah, I think Night of the Wolf helped me a lot, being a
Mhm.
prequel to season one, because now we get to see Vesemir and we get to see, what the trauma he's going through watching the whole Witcher community get X'd in his cartoon.
Every
So you
every
get
time
what
one dies,
yeah,
he dies a little bit more.
yeah. So you get exactly what he's going through and what his ambitions are. Um, as much as yeah, Jennifer gets the best storyline, I feel like, in this. And when I say that, it's because season one, it was all about power for her. It was all about
Mhm.
conquering and power because everybody had always underestimated her and treated her like trash and made her feel like she wasn't worthy. She basically sacrificed everything to become worthy in her mind and gain power. And even with that power, it still wasn't enough for people to accept her. And so this
Nope.
whole season for her was about community. She's elven, but has no relation to her elf blood, like, to her elf, community. So it was a great way to see that, okay, now that she's powerless, and you could tell it's, it's parts in there where she could reclaim some of her power and do things that she chooses not to. But to see her have to learn like community is important, and almost like family is important. The people that care for you and love for you are important beings and people there. It's no greater moment of seeing that when I can't think of the bard, the Joker
Uh,
that sings.
Jaskier.
Yeah, and she basically has a moment with him, and he's just giving her all kind of heat, being like, I want to
It's
say
like, "I
this
hate
and
your
this to
fucking
you.
guts. I hate you. You're a bitch."
Right. I want to give you all this heat, but he's like, but but also understand how to walk in other people's shoes.
Put your gloating in. Time's limited.
Once upon a time, I would have used this opportunity to call you an empty, lonely, power-hungry she-demon, but I'm an artist, Yennefer. It's my job to put myself in other people's shoes.
And she makes decisions that help him out. And but that whole thing from her realizing that the power that she possessed was never in the craft. The power she possessed was in building a community. So that was a great storyline I think they did there. Gilroy, him learning how to pretty much be a father. I know you were saying it's more like the little sister role. I feel like it was more like
Oh,
the
yeah,
father role. Like,
he's definitely her father.
yeah, like he has to be a father. He has to protect her at all costs. And the only way he knows how to protect things and people is teaching it how to be deadly fighters and be more deadly than what's going after them. Like, and
Yeah.
as both of us being parents, we would be kind of like, that's maybe not the
I
lesson
don't
you should
know.
probably be teaching your kids, but
I guess so. I mean, like, there's days where I was like, man, I need to get my kid in some sort of like, he need to get beat up a little bit so he can be tough out there in these streets. But then, like, oh, I
right.
don't want my little baby to get hurt.
But you gotta realize the trauma of his existence is why he only knows how to father or raise the way he's raising. Like, I
Yeah.
remember the scene in there that made me really hit home for me is the scene in there where she is going through the obstacle course. And it's like, oh, like who tended to the horses? Like, oh, she was supposed to, and it wasn't done. I fully expected like him to go and kind of like almost being like, she's not ready for that. What are you guys doing? Blah blah blah. Get down. And he was like, nope. Let's see how this goes. Like,
That's actually one of my favorite scenes because at first, the other Witcher is like getting her up there just to like fuck with her. And
yeah,
by the end of it, he's like throwing out like, yo, you gotta balance yourself, don't anticipate one thing. Like like that's when they all became a family at that point. And I thought that was really cool scene. And then when Gerald walks up and is like, you think he's gonna be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, she's not ready for this. He's like, no, like, let's see what she can do. Let's see how she can handle it. And that was a really
and
cool
and
scene to
that's what it
see.
hit home for me is that
Yeah.
his upbringing and trauma from his upbringing has, but just like us as parents, what we experience as our upbringing is what we put onto our children. So for him, it wasn't like for us, we have a protectoratory type of attitude. For him, his like, nah, the fit here don't live. So if you're not fit, I know it's my job to protect you, but the only way I know to protect you is by making you fit. Like, and so that
Yeah.
was a great correlation. I thought that season two nailed home numerous times, even when he travels without her. And it's the statement of like, he's traveling without you because that's his way of protecting her because she doesn't think she's ready yet for the adventures that need to go in front of her. So I thought that was a very interesting look at the fatherhood thing. I think also the the illusions and sometimes they were heavy handed with it. The whole thing about what makes a girl into a woman. I mean, they even one point even make a comment about like, what do you do when she gets on it? Like, yeah, and they're like, we don't know because we're just witches, bro. We don't deal with that. Like, and he's like, I'm pretty sure you've been giving her mushrooms to slow that process
There
down. Huh?
hasn't been a girl in
Like,
here in 700 years.
right. So even that process for the show, I thought was very good writing, and I think a lot of that good writing is able to come out to play because you already got buy-in for us for the characters, but also you're not having to do this time jump and order your stories. Now you can just focus on the development of the characters and
Hmm.
how this is going to play out. So I am thoroughly enjoying season 2. Now I have not watched the last episode, so I'll say that out loud.
So, if we can get to the spoilers territory real quick
Let's
here.
jump right into it. Okay, go ahead. Spoilers, it is.
Spoiler territory right here. So we find out who is the leader of Nilfgaard or whatever the name, Nilfenheim. I don't know the
Mhm.
bad guys, and the
Yes.
fact that Geralt has definitely taken on uh the father role of Ciri is definitely going to come to play in the next season. And I'm trying to
Mm,
be coy about the hint here. We know who the leader of the Nilfgaard is, and Gerald, and he's not going to be very appreciative of Gerald taking care of Siri. Let's just say that.
all right.
And I thought, and at the end, I was like, because they've been alluding to this character being he's the emperor of coming in and like how everybody's pretty much afraid of him. And like right before they revealed it, I was like, I know who it's gonna be, but I didn't like put two and two together until like legitimately like before he walks on the screen, and I'm
Hmm.
like, there, that's the guy. Yep, that makes sense now.
Yeah,
But
okay.
we shall find out more in season 3.
Okay. Are you here for more Witcher cartoons? I guess they're
Hell,
supposed to make more animated features of this.
hell yeah, that
And
one
I
last one
believe
was
it has been renewed.
badass.
Right. I think it has been renewed for season 3 for sure. So I think we're going to keep getting more Witcher, and Henry Cavill's already been said that he'll play
I
this as
will,
long as they want him
I
to
will
play it.
take as much Henry Cavill as they give me.
I don't have much on the spoiler section here because I mean, for the most part, we covered most of it in our regular explanation. Because if you know about it, you know about it. Like this is if you know, you
Yeah,
know. It's not much you can spoil here. Um, in this one, I will say this in regards to the only beef I have, and it's not even a negative. It's just that I spent all season 1 with everybody being apart. I was really hoping season
yeah.
2 everybody would get together very quickly and we could run with this.
Nope.
So
They
yeah, I'm about to
don't
wait
get
on the
together
season
until
for
like,
this. Right.
I mean, like they all get together like what, like the 6th episode. They all get to like they're all
Yeah,
back together as of, but then they quickly break apart again.
yeah, very quickly. So I'm still salivating for the moment where they're all fighting together and Avengers Assemble kind of status here in
We got a
Rockingham. So
Witcher, we got a witch, and we got a little girl who does whatever she feels like because magic is a Deus Ex Machina. But she
right.
also knows how to Witcher too, so it'll be cool.
Yeah,
And then we
absolutely.
got the Bard, who is a lot more in love with Geralt than they let on in season 2 or season 1. Like this
Oh,
dude
100%.
is like, fuck this bitch. I should be the one. Like, why do you tell the genie to be in my life?
Oh my god, yeah, he is secretly pining. I mean, I don't know
He's
who's pining more, you or him.
well, me, because I'm a real person. But in this one, he's not secretly at all pining.
Oh
He's
man. Also, shout out to this season having more monster action.
yeah.
I will
There's
say
a lot
that was
more
a weakness
witchering.
of season 1. It's not as much witchers being witchers killing monsters. This one definitely upset quota.
There are definitely some weird looking monsters, like the centipede with the head and the arms. That was no, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I would leave that world. Oh, that's an option. Nope, not gonna be here.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Most of the worry about in the woods is maybe a tick. I'm not worried about
Yeah,
like
like nope,
centipede monsters
nope.
chopping down wood monsters to get to me. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, nope. Not gonna be in this. We'll try it again. Here we go. Bye.
All right. Well, that is our talk of the Witcher. Again, if you like The Witcher, hate The Witcher, what do you think about season 2? Please leave in the comments below. We will be sure to read them on the show because we enjoy doing that as well. But let's
just
jump
send,
into go ahead,
just
Jason.
send me all your Henry Cavill thirst traps, people. That's all.
There you go. Wrap the show up. Jason, as always, thank you for being on here. For everybody else, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification on YouTube so you'll be notified when we upload other new content. We are on Headcanon Circus on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor FM. And I just realized Spotify just added a rating system. So if you can rate us 5 stars, maybe 4.5 if you're really feeling froggy. Anything less than 4.5, or maybe even anything less
I'll
than 4,
fight you.
we may come to your house. We may come to your
We-
house.
We believe it or not, me and Jason are about that life, so we'll definitely come there.
And if you aren't, you're not, we know a bunch of Tyrones that are about that life.
we
So-
do have families, so
but please remember to do that for us. Duke of all nerds, any closing words for everybody today?
be kind, considerate, tip your servers and bartenders 20%, and have a happy new year because this is what's coming up.
Absolutely. And thank you all for listening. We will see you all next time. And I need you to answer, what is the Matrix?